Hello and welcome to Flaunt. Create a life you love after infidelity or betrayal. I'm Lora Cheadle, and today we're not really doing a podcast. I have no idea how long this is going to go. It might be 5 minutes, it might be 25 minutes, it might be 105 minutes. No, it's not going to be that long. I just want to have a conversation today. I want to have a conversation about sex today. I just got a question in my Facebook group. First of all, if you're not in my Facebook group, it's a fair recovery for women, flourish after infidelity or betrayal. Please join us. And if you're in the community, please continue to ask your questions because it's your questions that guide me in knowing what to answer. So that said, join the community. If you're in the community, continue to ask questions so I can continue to serve you. I have had a question in that community from a woman who was not ready to be intimate with her intimate partner again and was wondering if there was anything she could do to help spark her desire to let go of her feeling of ick. I also had a woman that I was coaching with last week ask me a similar question, yet on the other side. She was like, is it normal that all I want is sex? I need sex every day. If he does not have sex with me, if he does not initiate it, I feel really threatened because I feel like I need this every single day to prove that we are connected and we are committed. I know for myself and my own experience, I I went through both. There were moments of that hysterical bonding where I was like, I'm going to do this and it's going to be great. And there were moments where I was like, you are the most disgusting human on the planet. And sure, I'll live with you and I'll parent with you, but I will never sleep with you again because this is disgusting. So, the reason that I started this conversation, and it is a conversation, the reason I started this conversation where I did was to let you know that there's extremes. And wherever you are at along that continuum of hysterical bonding or you're totally disgusting me, I want you to know first and foremost, you're normal. You are totally normal. One of the quotes that helped me get through this time, this situation, was an abnormal response to an abnormal situation is normal. And it just, it brings up so much. It makes me want to cry, you know, that we're even here, that we even have to be in this abnormal situation. And then also the relief of knowing that however you feel right now is normal. And I want to start there. The second place I want to go with this is that knowingness that wherever you're at, it's probably going to change. Wherever you're at is probably not going to be where you're at forever. Even though you might be hysterically bonding right now or completely disgusted right now, chances are high that you're going to flip to the alternate extreme and then back again another few times. So, what can you do to remind yourself that where I'm at right now is a temporary state? Maybe you can literally write a note to yourself. I wrote stickies to myself all the time. I still do. It's actually a really good method to remind yourself this too shall pass. This too shall pass. And to then ask yourself, what do you need in the moment? What do I need in this moment? Because, okay, let's get really candid with some things. Sex can be really fun. It can feel really good. It can be really fulfilling on a number of different levels. Just pure physical, it can just be that you need or want something physically. And this is a person that you've gone to before. There's nothing wrong with going to them again if you are okay with that. If you're like, my body just needs some sex right now, and this is a person that I know can make me feel good, go for it. You know what I mean? Go for it. I can look back on times in the past, and I know we've all done this, we've all been there, where I didn't want to have sex because I was trying to prove something, because we weren't emotionally connected, and I was mad about it, or I was sad about it, or I was hurt or angry because of it, and I didn't have sex. And that's your right, and that's your boundary. And you can do whatever the heck you want with your body whenever the heck you want to do it, quite honestly. But there's this also awareness of, when am I cutting myself out of something that I would otherwise enjoy simply to prove a point? And I want you to think about that. When are you cutting yourself off from enjoyment, from fulfillment, from connection, or maybe not even connection? When are you just cutting yourself off to prove a point? And are you happier and more fulfilled because you proved that point? And did you really prove that point? Or did the other person not really get what you were trying to do anyway, and you lost out on a good time? These aren't questions I can answer for you, because they're really situation dependent. I'm just saying, I know for me, there were times I was in my head, I was in this self-righteous story. I was like, I'm not going to do this, and he's going to do blah, 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 blah. And I was in this story. Did I prove anything to him? No. What did my self-righteousness earn me? Did it earn me points in heaven? Probably not, because that's not what it's about. But if you believe that's what it's about, and if you really believe and feel good about yourself because of your self-righteousness, then great, own it and be it. But I know for me, I've wasted a lot of time and joy being that self-righteous person, and it really didn't give me anything. And I didn't teach the other person anything. I didn't prove my point. I just ticked them off. Again, these aren't questions I can answer for you. I can only let you in on some of the thinking, some of the ways I thought, some of the things that I did, and I can share some of my experience over what did it get me versus what it didn't get me. And it's not that I'm like intentionally going to withhold sex. That's not what it was about. It wasn't about withholding sex. It wasn't even about me authentically being in my boundary. And I think that's what this point is. It was about me trying to prove something. It was about me manipulating a situation in a way that really wasn't authentic. I wasn't clear with myself, let alone with my partner, that I'm hurt, I'm threatened, I'm feeling disconnected. I didn't use the words and I didn't communicate. I used sex as a medium, as a method to communicate, thinking, oh, he'll get the message, and hurt myself in the process. And that's the thing that I want to come back down to, is hurting myself in the process. If I'm holding a boundary and authentically connected to my feelings, that's what matters. So, does your partner make you go, ick? Do you look at them and think, where did you stick that thing? And you're never coming near me again. That's a valid thought. A lot of people say that. I hope that wasn't too crude for you, but you know what? That's what people say. And that's what I've heard time and time again. If that's where you're at, be where you're at. You can't be anywhere else except where you're at, so stop trying. If you're thinking ick, feel ick. But here's where I want you to go with that ick. Identify, this is where I'm at, and this is where I want to be. I want to feel turned on. I want to want you. I want to be intimate again. So there's that gap. Here's where I am. Ick, you gross me out. Here's where I want to be. You're just my love, and we have so much fun together. Identify that gap and don't judge it. I think that's the most important thing I want to say. Don't judge it. Just identify. Here is the gap. Get comfortable with that gap with yourself. Then, when you're comfortable with that gap with yourself, then that's something you can communicate to your partner. I want to be in a loving physical relationship with you. And right now, I'm in the icks. You don't need to go through all the stuff with him. You don't need to be, you disgust me and I can't believe. He knows it. Trust me, he knows it. If he doesn't, that's another problem, but he knows it. He knows why it's icky to you. It's icky to you because it's threatening to you. Because, first of all, it's not making your body safe. Sexually transmitted diseases are a thing. I hope you've been tested. I hope he's been tested. But that fear, that wanting to protect yourself, that's a healthy response. So if you're saying ick, that's a healthy response because it's your mind and your body saying, ew, risk, threat. I don't want to go there. Honor your body. Don't override your body. Emotionally speaking, I'm just thinking there's like 4 things I want to say all at the same time. But emotionally speaking, it's a threat when your partner, the one who's supposed to cherish you above all else, is sleeping with somebody else. That's an emotional threat. There's the physical threat of disease, but there's also the emotional threat. Who will he prioritize over me? How am I being hurt? If you've got kids, I'm not protecting my kids. There's that emotional level of threat also. Of course, you don't want to have sex. Why would you open yourself up to somebody who you think can hurt you emotionally, physically or emotionally? So those are those 2 layers of threat. Be where you're at. Identify where you're at. Identify where you want to be. It makes sense for you not to want to have sex. So you're identifying it. Go within and let yourself know, of course, you make sense. Sometimes we beat up on ourselves. Why do I feel this way? Why do I? Blah, blah, blah. The best way to get through that is to affirm for yourself that the way I think and the way I feel makes sense. I'm going to externally validate you. The way you think and the way you feel makes sense. It makes sense if you never want to have sex again. And it makes sense if you want to have sex every single day and all the time and you feel threatened if you're not having sex. That makes sense too. Because sex is a way that we claim people. It's a physical affirmation. It's a validation. I'm choosing you and you're choosing me. And then there's that manipulative subconscious belief of if he's having sex with me and he really, really loves it, it's going to be amazing and he's not going to want to have sex with anybody else. I win. I win. I'm the best. I'm the best in bed. I'm the prettiest. I'm the hottest. I'm the sexiest. All of that. That makes sense too. It all makes sense. Because an abnormal response to an abnormal situation is normal and it makes sense. If you're having sex all the time and you're like, this is weird and exhausting, identify how you want to be. I want to be comfortable if we're having sex and I want to be comfortable if we're not having sex. I don't want to assign any meaning to this. If he's tired and goes to bed, if he loses an erection, I want to realize it's not about me because it's not. And I want to be so confident and comfortable in that I'm like, it's not about me, it's about him. And I want to be able to still feel good about myself and still feel safe and still feel secure. Where you're at, where you want to be, identify it. Get clear in the story yourself. Then you can start communicating it with your partner. I feel so insecure when you don't want to have sex with me all the time. When you lose an erection, when you don't seem that excited, when you're not reaching for me every single night, I feel so unworthy. I'm not asking you to do something different. I am expressing to you how I feel. And then validate for yourself. And it makes sense because it does make sense. It makes sense that you want to have sex all the time. It makes sense that you feel threatened if you're not. It makes sense that you never want to have him come near you again. It all makes sense. And that's that first place, is just Accepting. You know, the golden center of flaunt is AU, which stands for accept unconditionally. And that's where the magic happens. How do we accept unconditionally? By getting clear on what it is, where we're at, where we want to be, identifying that gap, and then validating for ourselves that how we feel makes sense, that where we are at makes sense, because guess what? It does. It absolutely does. Now, once you're at peace with that, that's when your mind starts relaxing. That's when your nervous system starts calming down. That's where you can relax, and then things can start to shift, and they start to shift naturally. And I think that's the biggest thing that I want to convey to you is you're not broken. This is not wrong. You are not broken. You're not, this is not a problem. You have a desire, and your desire is to feel differently. So, how do you feel differently? Well, by relaxing about the way you're feeling, by realizing you're not wrong, by realizing it all makes sense. Then you start relaxing into something different. And I know, like me, so many of you out there are high achievers and you're go-getters and you're like, and I want to change things and I want to make sense of things now. And I want it to be different now. And I want to do the things. Tell me the steps, Laura. I will do the steps. If I had $1 for every woman that I have coached that is like, just tell me the steps and I'll do it. And I'm like, I can tell you a lot of the steps, but some of the steps involve not doing. Some of the steps involve feeling and dropping in, and they're like, dang it, I would so much rather do something than just feel and be. And I get that. Oh my gosh, I get that. First step is feel and be and acknowledge and accept. But for those of you who are doers and you insist on knowing the rest of the story, here's what I'm going to tell you. On YouTube, I have got several flirtorial challenges. Well, what is a flirtorial? It is a combination of flirt and tutorial. And the energy and the idea around a flirtorial is to teach you how to flirt. And why, before you're like, what? Press pause. I'm out of here. Let me tell you, flirting is not about flirting with the other person. Flirting is about lighting yourself up on the inside. Flirting is about you. It's not about the other person. I have so much juicy material on this, on lap dances, which is about you. It's not about your partner, about sexy dance, about flirting, which is all about you. Such a common misperception is being sexy is about looking or acting a certain way to entice the other person. And that's not what it is. That's why so many of us feel icky. It's not pandering to the male gaze. It's not making yourself different to make yourself appealing. It's about doing things that make you feel good about yourself. And it's not even about sex. I think that's what's one of the things that is so frustrating. It's about lighting yourself up for the joy of lighting yourself up and being in that state of fullness and full appreciation and love for yourself and full connection and joy for yourself. And when we are so fully connected to ourselves and our joy and our presence, and when we know what makes us feel alive and good, that is when we become magnetic to other people, not in a, ooh, I'm going to turn you on sort of a way, but in an, oh my gosh, the full connected human experience, the full heart opening love and trust experience. And that's what it's all about. And I'm going to put the links to all of these videos in the show notes because you're absolutely going to want to check it out. People, I'm just going to say more about sexy, turn on, flirt, all that stuff. It's an energy. It is an energy and it's a way of being. And when you radiate that self-love and that power and that joy, you feel so good, and those around you respond in kind. And there's so much misunderstanding around some of my work when I talk about sex. Like, even the title of my first book is Flaunt. Drop your cover and reveal your smart, sexy, and spiritual self. And the word sexy gets people going, it's like claws out. And especially after infidelity, I get it, because one of those core fears is the other woman sexier than I am? Is the other woman prettier than I am? Is she thinner, younger, hotter, better in bed, whatever it is? And that's the bastardized version of sexy. Sexy is that internal energy, it's that awareness of who you are. It is a state of being that has nothing to do with sex, but has everything to do with appreciation and joy and awareness and love of yourself and what you deserve. And your birthright is to feel good. Your birthright is to feel powerful. Your birthright is to live really in that state of full self-expression, in that state of flaunt, because you're comfortable, because you're confident, because you're happy, because you're filled with joy. And that's what really being sexy is about. So the show is about, how do I get the spark back? You get the spark back by not focusing on the other person and by not focusing on the spark at all, but by focusing on you and your own joy. You get the spark back by laughing and loving and feeling good in yourself. I love wearing makeup. I love wearing eyeshadow. I love doing lipstick. I love doing the different things. I love playing on my face. Not because I want to attract attention from men so they can think that I'm hot and they can want to have sex with me. Not so I can turn my husband on and so he thinks that he's married a goddess, but because I enjoy playing with it. And I feel good when I look in the mirror and I'm like, woohoo! It's about me. If somebody else gets a benefit, that's great. Woohoo! But it's about me. Like right now, I'm playing with my hair on Zoom. Whether you're watching this, because I am posting it on YouTube, or whether you're listening to it, I'm not playing with my hair for you. I'm playing with it because of me and because I like to make myself pleasing to me. It's all about me. I like, I'm wearing hot pink and I have a necklace that has little gummy bears on it because it's fun for me, because it gets me excited. I'm not going anywhere today. I'm not seeing anyone today. I am wearing my fun little gummy bear necklace and wearing pink because it pleases me. I might even take it off before my husband gets home. I don't know how he's going to see me. I don't care how he's going to see me. I am pleasing me. And that's what you're going to get when you watch some of these flirtorial videos, because it's about making you hyper aware of your state of being. And if you're in a state of joy, or if you're in a state of proving yourself, if you're in a state of appreciation for yourself, it means that if you think somebody else is icky, you still appreciate yourself enough to stay away from them and to be able to communicate and be like, I'm not up for that right now. It also means that you appreciate yourself enough that if you're like, I physically need sex, don't care about the emotional aspect of things. I physically need sex and you're the person to do it. Hey, do you want to have sex? That you will. And that if you're also in a state where you're like, I need that emotional connection before I have sex, I can't do that right now because I don't feel emotionally safe with you and I don't feel connected, so I'm not going to do it. I won't. And you appreciate yourself enough to know that if I'm feeling insecure and I need that hyper bonding right now, that you do it. It's that appreciation for yourself. That's what these flirtorials are all about. That's what my sexy lap dance videos are all about. It's returning you to a connection with your body and your heart and your mind in a place of honesty and in a place of vulnerability. That's what it's about. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about sexiness for you. It's not about pleasing the other person, it's about feeling alive within your own skin. And it's about honoring and appreciating yourself wherever you're at. And realizing that where you're at now is a really difficult place to be. And you won't be there forever. This too shall pass. Notice where you're at. Notice where you want to be. Don't judge the gap. See if you can communicate around that gap. But above all, appreciate yourself and honor yourself and get what you need and get what you want. And if you want sex, take it. And if you don't want sex, don't. If you want something, take it. If you want to feel your face, feel your face. If you want to feel your hands, feel your hands. If you want to put your hands on your chest, put your hands on your chest. But right now, feel your body, physically touch your body and remind yourself, this is me. This is me. I have a body. I have a body and I can do what I want with my body, which means drawing boundaries around, nope, I'm not going to let your body touch mine. Or, yes, I am, but these are the circumstances under which I will allow my body to be touched by you. Touch your arms, touch your legs. I'm truly asking you to do it. Remind yourself, this is my body. I inhabit my body. I control my body. I get to do what I want with my body. Now breathe. And I want you to move within your body. I want you to move into your emotions, into your feelings. I feel, I feel disgusted. I feel threatened. I feel like I've got to prove myself. I feel terrified. I feel confused. Identify all of those things that you feel. Your feelings are not your body. Your body is not your feeling. You touched your body. That's a physical, solid thing. Now, feel those emotions. You can't feel them by touching them. You feel them by identifying them. You make them real when you speak them, when you identify them. I am threatened. I am disgusted. I am lonely. I am in need of love. Take those emotions. Keep it going. If you want to write them down, write them down. And then just like you identified the gap before, this is where I am and this is where I want to be, feel those emotions. I am in pain. I'm afraid. I'm terrified. I'm gutted. I'm shattered. Feel those things. Now, speak about the other side. Where is it that you want to be? If you're saying, I feel shattered, do you want to feel whole? I want to be whole. If you're terrified, what is the other side? I want to be secure. Speak to that other side. I am lonely. I want to be connected. And start affirming everything on the other side. I am connected. I am secure. I am loved. I am chosen. I am cherished. I am certain. I am getting my needs met. I am, ooh, all sexy and feeling it. I am enjoying sex. oh my God, I am enjoying sex. I am comfortable having sex. I am aware of when and why and how I have sex. I am in control when I have sex. Speaking to everything on the other side highlights, again, just like we did, where you're at, where you want to be, and what that gap looks like. And now relax, relax, be where you're at. Feel that sexy, feel that energy, feel that peace and that calm and that confidence that this is where I'm at. I'm in the ick right now. It's awesome. I'm in the ick. I'm in the hyperbonding right now. I'm in the ick right now. I'm in the I have no idea where I am right now. Own it and claim it and just breathe with that. Your job for the next week is to be where you're at, to not try to change it, to just be where you're at and to find that acceptance within you, within your heart, within your soul about where you are at. Can you do that? Yes, you can. Is it going to be hard? Yeah, it might be, but that's okay. Be where you are at. Now, step two, and do not rush this. Do not rush this. If you need to pause this episode, click pause. But before you click pause, mark on your calendar, send yourself a calendar invite, however you keep track of things, and then come back to this episode at this point in time in a week. But I do not want you doing anything for a week except being where you're at. I'm in the ick. I'm in the I have no freaking idea. I'm in the hyperbonding. I'm in the whatever it is. In 1 week's time, come back. Come back to this, and we're going to do this little exercise together. And it's going to feel so good. And ideally, I'd like you to do this either in the mirror or find the YouTube of this and put me in your face, and we're going to do this together. But we're going to have a little rant. We're going to have a little rant over all of these amazing things that have happened for you. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it, Lora. I was where I was at for a week. And then after that week, I just felt this sense of calm that really permeated me. And I'm okay with where I'm at. And you wouldn't believe what happened. This balance came back into my life. This balance came back into my life where I am really ready. I'm ready for sex. I'm ready for connection. I'm ready for a healthy balance around sex. I I'm getting turned on again. I'm getting curious again. I am looking at my partner and I'm seeing them in a totally new light, and it's really fun. And the affair stories, they're just kind of gone in that moment. I am not haunted because I know how I feel and I know who I am. And I know how to start or stop things by using my boundaries, by using my voice. And I feel so good. I feel so healthily turned on by myself, not even necessarily by my partner. I just feel healthily turned on by life. I feel ready to explore myself and my body and my emotions again. And I just feel so healthy. And I feel so excited and curious for what's to come. And it's this internal sense of confidence that I feel. I feel confident that I'm totally enough. I am totally enough. It's not really about me being enough for anybody else. I know I'm enough for myself. And sometimes it's even hard to explain, but I know I'm enough and I know I deserve a really fun sex life. And I know that that can change and that that can be moment to moment for me. But I just feel such a level of peace and acceptance around this that it's about me and I deserve to feel good and I deserve to play in this way. I deserve to let my body go. I deserve to let my heart go. I deserve a safe and loving relationship. And I deserve this kind of sexual pleasure and joy. It's so weird, but I just feel that it's about me. And when I no longer have to perform sex or prove sex, it's so freeing. And I'm thinking about things so differently. In just 1 week's time, I am thinking about things so differently. And it's interesting. And it's freeing. I just keep going back to that word freeing, but it's freeing. I don't have to worry about being turned on or getting the spark back. When it's back, it's back. And when it's not, it's not. And either way, it's fine. And when I want sex, I do. And when I don't, I don't. Because it's really about me in a whole different way. And pause and look at me or look at yourself in the mirror and keep going with those truths for you. Keep speaking aloud about all of those shifts that happened, the shifts that surprised you, the shifts that you hoped for, the shifts that were exactly what you wanted. Just keep talking about those like that, like you were telling me, because you are telling me. You're telling me everything that happened in this last week. You're just ranting about it. Oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe. I'm there now. Here's where I wanted to be. And here's what it's like to be there. Tell me what it's like to be there. Go, 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 go. Tell me everything. Speak it aloud. Affirm it. Can you believe it? In 1 week's time, I feel so enlivened. In 1 week's time, I feel so relieved. I feel so, whatever it is. Speak it, speak it, speak it, speak it, speak it. But don't speak it for a week. Come back to that. So those are my steps. Get in your body. Do the flirtorial videos because they're for you. Do the lap dance video because it's for you. Be present with where you're at. Identify the gap. Get comfortable and just stop for a week. And then in a week, come back and affirm all of these changes that happened. And here's the thing, whether they happened or not is irrelevant. I want you to speak it as if this were the biggest transformation you have ever had in your life. Speak it as if everything shifted. Feel the energy of that shift. And then just go about your day, go about your time. Because when you identify that gap, get present with it, be okay, and then speak and feel into how you want it to be, that's how your body, your mind, your nervous system, your energy field, that's how it knows how to get there. It knows how to get there because you have guided it there. You have walked the path once. You have taken this journey, and then your body's like, oh, I can get there. Doesn't matter if that journey is, quote, real or not. That's one of the reasons that I always use hypnotherapy when I coach people. Did you know the mind doesn't know the difference between fantasy and reality? That's why at night when you dream you're slipping, your body goes, huh, and it jerks and it'll jerk you awake. Because your mind doesn't know the difference. Your mind doesn't know the difference between fantasy and reality. So in hypnosis, we feed the mind the reality that we want to step into. And that's what you're doing when you do this happy rant over all the changes that took place and how you feel. I feel that spark back. I am so ready to move and groove and get that action. And in fact, this is the best sex we've ever had. I had no idea it could be this good. I had no idea I could be this uninhibited and free. I had no idea my body could do that. Did you know my body could do that? Oh my God, I had no idea my body could do that. Did you know we could come together this way? Holy cow. When you feel into that and the excitement into that, then your body knows how to go there because your mind doesn't know the difference between fantasy and reality. So you've just taken it there. Now it knows. Now you know. Here's the path. I have created the path. That is the key. You have to create the path. If you can't create the path, that's why you get a coach. That's why you get a coach because they can help you create the path. You can't go anywhere that you don't believe in. If you can't create it for yourself, get somebody to help you create it, and then you can go there. So do your happy rant. Share your happy rant. You can share it in the Facebook group. We can check back in a week, see how it's going, see what you're doing, but check back in. Happy rant, happy rant, happy rant. 2-week process here. 1 week of just feeling it, being where I'm at, not worrying, not trying to change. Week number 2, happy rant. Oh my gosh, all these changes. Rant happy for an entire week. Do nothing for an entire week. Rant happy for an entire week about all the amazing things that have changed. That 3rd week, release, let it all go. You'll be surprised at what kicks in on that 3rd week. Okay. I hope this was helpful. I hope with everything, with every fiber of my being, that you do this. You relax and you release for a week, and then you happy rant for a week because it will change the way that you feel. I'm going to say it again. Do the flirtorials. Do the sexy lap dance. Now is a really good time to change your thoughts and your beliefs around sex anyway, because again, if you're anything like most of the women that I work with, we don't have perfect sex lives. There are things we wish were different. And again, one of the gifts of infidelity is it gives us the opportunity to rewrite the script and to rebuild a relationship. And yeah, that relationship can include things like respecting each other in different ways and fighting differently and communicating differently. But it can also include the way we have sex and making our sex lives different. So, how do you want your sex life to be now? Do you want to get more in touch with your own body? Do you want to have your partner learn different skills and tools and things to do in bed? Now's a really good time to do that. Have you felt too pushed by your partner and you want to put some very clear boundaries in place? Now's your chance. Now is your chance. So, sex is fun. Not having sex is fun. Hyperbonding is fun. It's all fine. Wherever you're at, it's fine. Stop the judgment around it. Identify where you're at. Identify where you want to be. Know that you are normal. Know that I've got your back. I can help you create that path of where you want to be. I can also just help affirm and validate where you're at right now. It's all good. Again, join the Facebook group. If you're already in the Facebook group, let's talk about this. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. That earworm is going to be in your ear all day. But yeah, let's talk about sex. It's a really important topic of conversation. You're normal, you're fine, you're good. You don't have to be any different than you are right now. Have an amazing week. And as usual, always remember to flaunt exactly who you are, because who you are is always more than enough.